So, good morning. It's very early this morning, and Chocolate City Podcast. I'm your host, Mahfouz Al Kadir. And um, I just wanted to come on. It's been a while since I made my podcast, and I'm just trying some new methods of launching pretty much an audio podcast that I can do it, launch it directly to YouTube. And got some audio issues. If it might come up, I apologize in advance. But yeah, a lot to unpack today. I want to talk about uh, the NBA. As you know, the Golden State Warriors, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Andre Iguodala, in the core of that team that kind of started their quest of championships in 2015. Really, they should have won a fifth championship. They won their fourth with that core group. And really, they should have won five if Draymond Green didn't get suspended. And I believe that 2016 game against the Golden State Warriors. But anyway, um, when I harken back on that series against the Boston Celtics, Golden State was able to pull it out, and they closed it out in Boston Thursday night. This past Thursday, Steph Curry had a phenomenal game. He's really the difference maker um, in this series, and still the experience factor amongst the Golden State Warriors. Like I said in the beginning, with their core, they were really Steph and them was really the difference maker. Um, Boston, their two stars, Jaylen Brown and Tatum. Um, they played underwhelming. They had moments. I mean, they did what they can do. Uh, Too many turnovers for Boston. Boston was the bigger team. They had moments where they kind of, imposed their will. But then, you can't. What was evident, what played out in that series was when Boston had over 16 turnovers in a game. They really lost the game, and that was evident throughout the series. They didn't take care of the ball. Defensively, they played okay, but there were lapses, and Steph and the crew were able to take advantage of those lapses on defense by Boston. Boston has been outstanding, by the way, in these playoffs with their defense. Also, Boston wasn't able to take care of home court, um, so they lost two games on their home court in this series. So, and the end result was Steph Curry and the crew were able to come away with their fourth title in 8 years. 2 years being without Klay Thompson. As you know, Kevin Durant decided 2 years ago to take his talents to Brooklyn and to start his journey there. But that hasn't worked out because in those 2 years, KD was hurt for 1 year, and Kyrie Irving is you never know when he wants to play or not. So looking back, did KD make the best decision for him? Could he have stayed with the group and got back to another title? Or could he have gotten multiple titles with Steph and Draymond, being though Klay Thompson was out? So, I don't know if that made an impact in KD's decision. At one point, I know there was a big brouhaha about that dust up in that argument with Draymond Green in the game a few years ago. That kind of like sealed the fate of Kevin Durant returning there to play basically re-signing with Golden State. But nevertheless, KD made his decision, and he wanted to play with Kyrie Irving. They kind of had that um, decision or plan, and they was able to get James Harden, and they was able to get to the playoffs. But of course, Harden was not his best because he was hampered by a hamstring in the 2021 playoffs. Kyrie got hurt. He hurt his ankle against Milwaukee. And it was bounced out with Milwaukee in the seventh game. So this year, Kyrie, with his antics about his stance on the vaccine, as you know, New York had you had to have the vaccine or whatever. But, so he had to deal with that in the city health department as far as lifting the mandates in the vaccine. So you had that. James Harden kind of got through, kind of got kind of got old for him, so he wanted out, and he was traded to Philadelphia, and as you know, Brooklyn was able to get Ben Simmons in that trade because Ben Simmons had been out due to mental issues in regards to Philadelphia. There was as far as issue with him. He didn't want to play for Philadelphia. He made that clear. He got granted, as far as mental issues or whatever, whatever. He just didn't want to face the music that in the playoffs in 2021. He just never shot the ball. He was a pass first guy. There's nothing wrong with that, but there were some obvious times where he could have been assertive, and he just chose to, be a facilitator, and that caught the ire of the Philadelphia fan base. So 76ers fan base. So they was not really thrilled with Ben Simmons, and Ben Simmons kind of hurt his feelings, as far as coaching and I guess the fans kind of echoed when asked about Ben Simmons' future with the team. So he kind of got it out, and it hurt him or whatever, and he decided he didn't want to play for the 76ers again. So I say all that to say this. Fast forward, Brooklyn got swept this year by Boston with Kyrie and with KD. They got swept. So it's going to be interesting going forward with them. I know they kind of made some, they kind of are not really willing to extend Kyrie Irving's contract unless they can get some assurances from him that he's going to play. And I don't blame them. So they have to figure that out going forward. In any event, getting back to the Golden State Warriors, the 2022 NBA champions, Steph got his MVP. Warriors defeat Boston in Boston, 4-2, in an intense, entertaining final. Getting back to Jason Tatum, he had an up and down series, kind of underwhelming, just like Jaylen Brown. With the turnovers, he had something like 100 turnovers in this playoffs. Now there was something in the news regarding his health, as far as his shoulder, how healthy was his shoulder, but I'll say it again. They need another scorer. They need a point guard, a real point guard. Marcus Smart, a lot of the shots that they were jacking up a lot of threes, they wasn't running any plays, and it's evident that they need a point guard, someone to facilitate. And we'll see what Brad Stevens can do, and with the coaching staff will do going forward. But it's evident to me that they need another scorer to balance that team out. But they got a bright future. Can they get back again? It'll be tough. Miami's going to be tough again. Milwaukee with Chris Middleton. He was hurt in these playoffs this year. So it's going to be, it's going to be a tough task in the East. You have Atlanta, as far as the draft, we don't know. So we have to see and let that thing play out and see what happens. But I think it's going to be pretty interesting when it's all said and done. So, with that said, did KD make the right decision to choose to leave Golden State? Golden State's still winning titles. And they had a setback for 2 years, but they righted the ship. And they still got Wiseman coming back, so they're going to get stronger. You saw with Andrew Wiggins. Why I keep calling him Alan Wiggins? Andrew Wiggins probably could have got the MVP if it wasn't for Steph's play. But Andrew Wiggins made himself a lot of money in this playoffs. He was able to his defense on Jason Tatum. It was superb. He's long, he's athletic, and he did it on both ends. He did a commendable job. And like I said, he arguably could have been the finals MVP. But like I said, Steph played his tail off in this series. And he got final MVP. So with that said, what's next for the Warriors? Like I said, they got Wiseman coming back. He was out all year. I don't know the severity of his injury and why he was out. I don't know if it's something to do with back issues or knee issue. I'll have to get more information going forward and relay that to you. I appreciate the love for this podcast, and I'm going to try to upload at least once a week. I'm not going to say too much, but once a week. It's all about convenience. It's very convenient to launch this podcast, and I'm just trying to put it on YouTube directly, as opposed to going to where the other platform that I was using. But it'll be interesting. I think it'll be interesting what Golden State's future is going to be. They got some young nucleus, Jordan Poole, Gary Payton Jr., the kid Looney. They got a nice core, and the coach Steve Kerr was able to get his actually combined. What do you got? Something like 9 titles? No, something like that. Yeah. 4 coaching, 5 as a player. That's a tremendous accomplishment, man. So, congrats to him. Congrats to the Golden State Warriors. Congrats to the Bay Area fans of the Golden State Warriors. And congratulations to the Boston Celtics fans and the Boston Celtics. Hopefully you guys will be able to make it and get through there next time. But either way, it's a learning experience that goes with this. And like I said, you'll be able to probably get back. Albeit it's going to be tough. But at least you experience what it takes. And you can use that going forward to get back to the finals next year. But it's going to be tough. for both teams. There's a lot of talent in the league, so we'll see. I would like, closer to home, the Wizards to get their act together, and I want to see what kind of moves they're going to make in the all season. What they'll do in the draft. I think they have the 10th pick. It'll be interesting to see what they do. There's a report out there that the Lakers are interested in Bradley Beal. Um, uh, I don't know in regards to that, but I have to read up on it and get more information. I mean, Bradley Beal is going to be an interesting topic as we lead up to the draft and free agency. So the Wizards do have, they can give him the most money. It's still up to Bradley Beal. The ball is still in his hand whether he wants to stay here. I think he does. I think he wants to stay with the Wizards, and I think Tommy, the general manager, Tommy Fletcher, uh, will have something up his. He's able to get some contracts off the books, but we'll see what he's able to do. They do have. I like some of the players they have, uh, and I like to see what they do. See what kind of talent they get in and what their future is. But I do like Wes Unseld as a coach, and as you know, Bradley Beal. They got Porzingis that they got in the draft trade deadline from Dallas. So they have Porzingis and they have Bradley Beal. Kisper from had a nice rookie year. Denny Avia. Uh, he plays some great defense, and they have a young nucleus. So now it's just a matter of putting some other pieces together and see if they can get to the playoffs next year. It's going to be tough, but they need to get to the playoffs, man. They really do. Um, Washington Commanders. As you know, you heard the news with Jack Del Rio and his comments and his opinions in regards to the January 6th insurrection and comparing, kind of saying something about, in comparison to what he said, I'm paraphrasing as far as the protests and the riots of the summer of 2020, uh, saying that, well, nothing happened as far as there was no property damage, and in some points he's right. It did, people's property shouldn't be damaged. There shouldn't be any type of destruction and violence when it comes to protesting. But there was a level of frustration, after the unfortunate murder of George Floyd in the hands of police officer David Shulman. Um, it was like that was enough, and that groundswell when all impacted that murder impacted the world, and we're getting tired of it. So Jack Del Rio decided to say, compared, those protests in relation to the January 6th as describe it as a dust up was inappropriate. But those are his opinions. Those are his thoughts. He was fined $100,000 by Coach Ron Rivera, and Jack Del Rio did apologize after he said those thoughts. And he put those thoughts out there. He did tweet out an apology. He since deleted his Twitter account, and he was fined by the team. Well, fined by Ron Rivera, $100,000. So he's still on the team. He's still coaching. He's still the defensive coordinator. Uh, from all the indications, Jonathan Allen spoke on it recently last week in regards to, they're just trying to focus on football. We understand his comments, but we are focused on the task at hand and playing football and leaving all the outside noise and the distractions where they at outside the locker room. But with this organization, there's always distractions, and there's always something outside of football that you have to discuss. So, you got Dan Snyder um, telling the Congressional Oversight Committee that he's not going to be available to testify or answer questions under Congress in regards to workplace culture, sexual harassment charges, and so forth. So Congress, in turn, urged him strongly to show up and be present at these hearings. So we don't know what's going to come about, but I'm sure there will be some, type of a statement or maybe even subpoena at this moment, but we don't know. So, with that said, um, it's going to be interesting though. I believe Roger Goodell is going to testify on the 22nd, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Will it be enough to have Dan Snyder removed as owner after all these investigations? And it seems like we got so many investigations that the Commanders are facing. So a lot of people want Dan Snyder out, but we'll see. We'll see. So with that said, I hope everyone have a great Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the real fathers out there that are doing their thing. And we will get back to you. Like I said, I'm gonna try to get back to you at least once a week on YouTube with this podcast, and just give you some content. And please, by all means, like the video, share the video. I mean, not the video, but the podcast, the audio. Like it, share it, and leave a comment and subscribe to the channel. This will be on my Vanguardian TV channel. But please like, share, and subscribe. It's wee early. It's mad early up here. And so take care, and we will see you again.